Hello for the Bookmarks in our video. In today's video, we're taking a look at Darkrai VSTAR post rotation, which actually has been seeing decent results and decent amount of people playing it in Japan. They have already rotated; they've gotten their Scarlet base set, and Darkrai doesn't exactly gain any new cards, but it does gain the new format. And what I mean by that is that there's going to be a lot more smaller Pokemon to take knockouts on. Darkrai initially was really bad, or you had to draw pretty well to take turn 2 knockouts on a V Pokemon with a Darkrai. But now that we might have these smaller Pokemon that are looking to evolve into EXs, they only have like 60, 70 HP. You only need 2 Dark Energy in play to deal 90 damage to knock those out. So you're going to have a lot easier of a time knocking out those smaller Pokemon that are looking to evolve into bigger EXs. And even if they do evolve into the EXs, most of the EXs do have that 250 to 260 HP range. The stage 1s have the 250 to 260 HP range, which is pretty easy for Darkrai to handle and just taking knockouts on them. Additionally, Gardevoir EX is looking to be a super duper strong deck. There are tons of results for it already. I did a video on it already with all the new results. Since you're a dark type, you're just going to absolutely farm any Gardevoir deck, especially the ones that are playing Shadow Rider, and you're going to have a pretty good time into those decks just because you knock them out so easily. So let's just hop right into my list here. Starting off with 3 Darkrai VSTAR. And this, of course, just have the Dark Pulse attack for 2 Darkness Energy, dealing 30 damage, and then 30 more for each of your Darkness Energy in play. Which that entire deck, that's what our entire deck is based around, is getting Darkness Energy into play. We have, Dark Patches, we have a bunch of Galarian different Moltres cards to get Darkness Energy into play as fast as possible, and we should ramp Dark Pulse really, really fast. We also have the ability here, Star Abyss, which is going to be the V-Star power. During your turn, you can take 2 item cards back from your discard pile. So this allows you to usually get back 2 Dark Patches to just get more energy play, but it can also get back Cross Switchers is another good option for gusting. This is going to be our main attacker. It's going to be able to take knockouts on anything we want, just because we're going to be able to get energy in play so quickly and pretty easily as well. We have our Darkrai V, 4 copies of it, and this is just because it's a good starter. We don't have any celebrations. I started out with celebrations, but I actually found I didn't really need it that often, actually. So we have 4 copies of Darkrai V just because it's our best starter in the deck. Because you just manually attach 2 times to it, and you're attacking with it. You don't need to do any switching shenanigans like Dark Patch to the Darkrai, because it just has that 2 energy attack cost on the V-Star. There's nothing too great to note about this. It does have a semi-useful attack, Dark Void. 2 Dark on cards, dealing 130 upon attack of the sleep. Might be okay in a panic scenario, but it's definitely not the attack that you'd be using too often. Then we have our Galarian Moltres package. 2 copies of Galarian Moltres V, which has Dire Flame Wings that lets you, once in your turn, take a Darkness Energy card from your discard pile and attach it to Galarian Moltres, and you can't use more than 1 Dire Flame Wings ability every single turn. Which means that this is just going to be sitting on your bench most of the time, just gathering energies every turn, increasing your damage. Kind of the idea with this deck is that you're just going to get like 10, 11 energy in play, and with your Dark Patches, with your Galarian Moltres, and then with the Galarian Moltres V plus turn transmission, you can be able to basically just going to be able to sustain your energies in play, even if your Darkrai's are getting knocked out. Because say you have 11 energy in play, and the Darkrai V-Star gets knocked out, you now have 9 in play, you just attach for turn, and then Dire Flame Wings are back right up to 11. So this is really, really good. But it does also have a pretty usable and decent attack in Aura Burn for 190, and then you deal 30 damage to yourself. We don't play Choice Belt in this list, which means it actually won't be taking KOs on evolving V Pokemon. But if you want to add Choice Belt, you could. But this will be taking KOs on Gardevoir EX, Shadow Rider Klara, Mewtwo V-Star, Mewtwo V Union, all that stuff. Then we have the other Galarian Moltres. This is the baby one. This one is the one that has Malevolent Charge. Bench it, and you attach 2 Dark Energies from your hand to it. Obviously, really obvious synergy there. That it just helps you get more energy in play for your Darkrai. But also it has a pretty decent attack too in Fiery Wrath, which deals for 2 Darkness and a Colorless, deals 20 damage, and then 50 more for each prize card opponent's taken. So if they're all the way down to 1 prize card, you can be dealing a nice crisp 270, which will KO opposing Darkrai's. It will KO. It'll definitely KO Gardevoir and Shadow Rider. and we'll even KO like I don't know, Spidops EX, things like that. And if your opponent does have only 2 prize cards left, it will be doing that 220, which will take a knockouts on evolving Vs, such as and also basic Pokemon EX like Miraidon. Okay. Then we have 1 copy of Lumineon V, because we're turbo deck, and being able to search out supporters is good. I've been finding putting Lumineon V into a lot of my post rotation decks, and it's just been killing it. It's a very, very good card in post rotation because we are losing Crobat. Then we have Radiant Greninja as well, because Water or Darkest Energy in our discard pile is very, very good for us because we have Dark Patches and Dire Flame Wings. So it's not a problem if we get them in discard, and because we're playing such a large amount of Darkest Energies, having a Pokemon that turns all those Darkest Energies into a draw engine, as well as powering up our board in theory with our Dark Patches, of course. Radiant Greninja is a super duper good card, and I can't really imagine running any other rating in here. Supporters, we're going pretty simple and clean for research, just because we're a turbo deck. It's just the best turbo supporter, and just the best supporter in post rotation. Another decent supporter is Zinnia's Resolve, which when you play it, you have to discard 2 cards in your hand. Then you get to draw a card for each of your opponent's Pokemon play. So they have, if your opponent has 6 Pokemon play, which looks like a lot of decks post rotation are going to be wanting to fill up their bench. You're going to be drawing 6 cards, which is really, really good value. It doesn't force you to discard Dark Patches that you can't use, and it just builds your hand, which is honestly really, really great. And of course, it's just another consistency supporter card, because you're not always going to have 1 of your 4 copies of research in your hand every turn you want them. Then we have 1 copy of Boss, which might seem weird, but we do play cross switchers, so that's fine. And then 1 copy of Klara can get back and Baby Moltres. Baby Moltres and a couple of Darkest Energies, and just rebench the Moltres, attach a couple energies to it. Or it can get back a Darkrai VSTAR. You're discarding a lot of cards from your hand and from your deck with Ultra Ball, Pokestop, Research. And sometimes you just can't control whether you discard a couple, like 1 too many of your Darkrai VSTARs. So Klara's being able to pluck that right back out of the discard pile is going to be really, really nice for you. If your opponent decides to target down your Radiant Greninja, you can even get it back with that if you want to. Then we have our item cards. We're going to be having a very consistent lineup here with 4 Ultra Ball and 4 Trekking Shoes. These are just 2 of the best turbo item cards in the format, in the game. And of course, kind of the lifeblood of this deck, Dark Patch. Attach a Darkest Energy card from your discard pile to 1 of your bench Darkest Pokemon. This is not a new card. It's been a standard before, and it's been really, really good before with a different Darkrai EX. And that's why it'd be really, really cool if Darkrai VSTAR is now good to kind of carry on the legacy of Darkrai EX, which was a super good deck for a while. But both of them revolving around Dark Patch is such an insane item card. We have 4 copies of, like I mentioned, Cross Switchers, because we have Pokestop, because we have Radiant Greninja to build our hand, as well as Zinnia. Using our Cross Switchers to Gust, while saving our supporter for turn for drawing through our deck with Research of Zinnia is going to be really, really nice. You can also get by the Cross Switchers with Star Abyss. You don't even have to use Star Abyss for double Dark Patch every single game. Getting back double Cross Switcher and Cross Switcher for game is a really good play that I have made plenty with this deck already in my testing that I've played of it. Then we have 2 copies of Nest Ball, which is just good basic search. If we don't have a Darkrai in our hand, or getting down Galarian Moltres V on turn 1 is really, really helpful. Greninja, of course, too. Nest Ball is just overall very, very good, and we'll just supplement our 4 copies of Ultra Ball. Then we have 1 copy of Switch and 1 copy of Escape Rope for our pivoting, in addition to our Cross Switchers, as well as retreating. If we start our Galarian Moltres V, just 2 Dire Flame Wings, we just go retreat that. Like I mentioned, some of the time you're not going to have to be doing a large amount of damage. So paying 2 to retreat a Galarian Moltres, you're still going to be dealing minimum 90 damage with Dark Pulse if you do have to retreat manually. So it's not a huge deal. Stadiums to Pokestops, the best turbo stadium. Of course, there's really no other stadium that you would want to run in here. And then we have our energy, which is going to be a large amount, 17 basic dark. 1 energy off of that coveted 18 energy deck, but 17 basic darkest energies. Going to guarantee we have that for turn attachments. Turn attachments are very important, as well as, like I mentioned, we have Radiant Greninja to just turn all of these darkest energies into a draw engine as well, so don't forget about that. So yeah, 17 darkest energy. And that is going to be my Darkrai VSTAR deck list. I'm really excited for this deck. I really want this deck to be good. I was really hoping it was going to be good when Darkrai VSTAR first came out, but Palkia was a little bit too much for it to handle. But now Palkia looking to be potentially not as good with all these Lightning Pokemon coming out. Yeah, that's going to be the deck. Darkrai VSTAR deck list. If you guys liked it, don't forget to leave a like. If you guys want to see more, don't forget to subscribe. That's the video, guys. See you guys in the next one.